welcome. Friday night live across the nation. Well, you know, there are certain jobs, politicians do it, teachers do it, the churches do it, and doctors do it as well. These people have jobs where they don't like to have to answer for what they do. So tonight we're looking at healing. We have a number of alternative healers on the show. And to find out exactly what David Drew, who's playing around on my back at the moment, is doing, stay tuned. Now, if you have any views, there it was, if you have any views on healing, I want you to send us a fax. The most original fax on healing will win a camera tonight. And I want lots of phone calls. Phone calls if you have any little healing problems or you want to talk to me about healing problems. And any doctors out there who feel strongly about all this alternative medicine, is there anything in it or not? You call us. The phone number? Oh, there's the fax number. There's the fax number there. You can fax us on that number and you can call us on this number. There we are. Change it there. Put it there. Put it there. That's it. Phone number 0532 46 1000. So get ringing as soon as you can. But we start. First of all, no, somebody whispered in the audience, are there going to be any live vasectomies tonight? There aren't. But we do have the alarm, and Bernadine Corrigan's going to make you laugh while she gets stuck with pins. But that's coming up later. First, the colours, and their new video, it's called I Want to Make Love. There we are, those were the colours, and I Want to Make Love. We actually had the colours playing live on the show some time ago. We think they're good. That's great. Now, David Drew, he's a spiritual healer. He's with us here at the moment. There are quite a number, aren't there, of spiritual healers in the country, David?
So I believe, yes.
How do we know what makes a good one?
If they cure you or not.
If they cure you or not?
Well, that's the way I would look at it. Because I must be honest, I know there's a lot of healers who profess to be healers.
Yes, but you're not.
I'm a healer who heals. That's the difference. I'm not saying there aren't other healers who don't heal.
Now, explain to me...
But I can't speak on behalf of other people.
OK, well, we'll talk just about you, David. You're a spiritual healer, and I'm told that first time on British television for quite some time, we're going to be able to have Albert Schweitzer. Is that right?
Yes, if the cameras can pick him up. He's standing here with me now.
He's with you now. Whereabouts? Can you show me where he is?
He stands here to the left-hand side of me.
How are you, Albert? Nice to see you. Good. Now, Albert is obviously, he's on another plane, but you get him to come in and heal things.
He chose to come and work with me 2 or 3 years ago. I've been healing now for, well, all of my life, for the past 20 years professionally. And it's just been the past 3 years that Albert Schweitzer has chosen to work with me. He's just one of a team of doctors in the spirit world. I'm just a channel, an instrument that's been used.
So when somebody comes to you with a complaint, you look around through Albert to find a doctor who used to specialise in that complaint?
Well, luckily I don't need to do that, because they know better than me what they're doing. When
Why can't the alive doctors do it?
Well, this is the thing, you see, I always say there is no such thing as an incurable disease. There is no such thing as an incurable illness. What we have got...
Do you have 100% success?
What we have got are illnesses that the medical profession have not yet found the answer to. But in spirit, they are...
Do you have 100% success, David?
No.
Never?
No. I can't say when people come to see me for healing, you will be cured. I will not say this. People phone me up, as you can imagine, with all sorts of complaints. Cancer, MS, rheumatism, arthritis, a boil on the bum, whatever.
And when you say to some poor soul who has cancer, what do you say to them?
When they phone me up, I say, as I always say to everyone, please do come along and see me, and I promise I will do my best for you.
How much do you charge for a visit like that?
I cannot promise to cure you. For a private visit, I charge £10 a time, and I don't make any apologies for charging, because this is the only work I do. I'm married with 2 children and a mortgage. I have to charge.
But how do I know? Here you are. You tell me you've got Albert Schweitzer standing beside you. He looks all right, but I mean, you know, how do I know he's not a fake? I mean,
does he look like a fake?
Well, no, he looks like Albert Schweitzer. I'm going on the flipping bend. How do I know? I'm going to give you 10 quid. You're just winding me up.
That's not important whether Albert Schweitzer is standing there or not. I say what is important is if you come to me with an illness and you go away cured, that's what's important.
You practice absent healing, do you?
And absent healing, yes.
Yeah. Now, absent healing means people who are watching us tonight on the television may have something wrong with them now.
Yes.
You could perhaps heal them?
Yes.
Perhaps somebody will ring and tell us if they've been miraculously cured while the programme is going on. There are millions of people watching.
I hope they do.
Can you do something? Look into the camera. Where are we? Which camera?
Which camera would you like me to look into? If there is anything at all that is troubling you at the moment, all you have to do is to look at me, relax, send your thoughts out, and we will see what we can do. I don't promise anything.
You see, I wonder, David, and please ring in if you're getting the tingles. I wonder, David, that people like you see, I mean, I'm sure you're a really nice, well-meaning chap, and probably believe in what you're doing, but I can't believe that people survive after life.
You can't believe people survive. I think people who think that this life is it, and when we die, that's the end of it, I feel quite sorry for those
Why?
people.
We have a great time while we're here. A few women, a few drinks, a good time. What else do you want?
I think I'm missing out on something. I haven't had a few women for a long time.
Now, come on,
But
you
no,
can't
this
prove to me,
life-
so I'm saying to you that you know, if I say you're a charlatan, you can't prove to me that you're not, can
No,
you?
and I don't want to. I don't want to prove anything. What I say to people...
You get people to come and give you 10 quid a time, though,
I've
David.
been professional now for 20 years.
Not professional.
I couldn't have been professional
Conning people for 20
years if I was conning people.
Of course you could. People are very gullible. They want to believe.
I do not advertise
Little old ladies
anywhere.
come along and they want to believe you're going to help them, David, and then
Yeah,
you just sort of go
that's
hocus
right.
pocus, you're going to be better,
You
and
see,
they
some
believe
people say to me, a lady comes with cancer, and after your treatments is cured, but, that could have been recession. Perhaps she would have got better anyway. And I say, what the hell does it matter? All I'm concerned with is if people come to me and they are ill, and afterwards they are cured.
You see, I would have a lot more respect for you, David, if you got out and got yourself an ordinary job and then just did this for people on the side. But you're charging people. And then you're saying, what the hell if it was me?
I had to make the decision many years ago when I was 15 years of age. Am I going to do this quietly on the side, evenings and weekends, or am I going to devote my life to this
How many patients
work?
do you have at this moment?
I see, on average, 30, 40 people a week.
That's ridiculous. I mean, do any of you lot believe this? Do you believe this guy? You'll ring and tell me, or is he a charlatan? Has anybody been cured? We'll see. We'll talk later, David. We'll take a break.
Thank you.
Into part, the James Wales Radio Show!
Okay, we're back. This must be... I mean, we do more moving on this show than any other show on TV. We go all over the place. That's very nice. Is my microphone not working? I wonder what you were standing up there like that for. That's very good. Ah, the lovely Lisa. Thank you very much indeed. Waylette this week. She look familiar. Doesn't she look familiar to you? We get to do the weather a little later on. Now, thank you for the calls. Keep them coming in. We've got lots of letters and things as well. And we're giving some old clothes away later on. I know they're old clothes. They belong to somebody called Joe Bloggs. He's left his name all over them, so we'll give those away a little bit later on in the competition. Annette from Elland, first of all. Annette, hello.
Hello there.
Yeah, oh, don't shout.
Okay,
That's
okay,
all
I'll
right.
whisper.
Okay. Right, what can I do for you?
I just passed my driving test and I've tried and tried and tried and I've just passed.
Congratulations. Thank you, Annette. Right, David from Exeter. Hello, David.
Hello, James.
Yes, David.
I've noticed that while you have people like Bernard Manning on quite often, there's a contradiction because you get uppity with any caller that uses the word fuck. Why?
I didn't get uppity with you, did I?
Not yet.
Thank you, David. Right. Sean from Stratford-on-Avon. Hello, Sean.
Hello, James.
Hi.
Hi, my family's got a revolutionary new cure for piles.
Really?
Yeah.
Because most of the crew here suffer with piles, funnily enough. Bad diet, everything very, very bad. Look at them. What is it?
Well, first of all, you have to hold a boot in your mouth, then you have to do this.
Okay. Can you do that? Very good, okay. They don't look very cured to me, Sean. Nice try. Never mind. Student, probably a student. The sooner as they get rid of the student grants and make those devils pay back, the better. Kevin in Derby. Hello, Kevin.
Yeah, hello, James.
Yes, Kevin.
Yeah, I just
Come on,
want
Kevin.
to say the bloke with the big blue cushion eyes is a con artist himself.
The bloke with the what?
Blue.
Never mind, Kevin. When you can learn to speak English properly, phone back. Darren from Torquay. Hello, Darren.
Hello, James.
How's the wind?
Oh, fine, fine.
Sorry about that, Darren.
Just your opinions on this ambulance dispute and the fact is why Mr. Clark won't sit down and speak to Mr. Poole. I mean, I'd like to know.
I've no idea. When you can ask him to let me know, please do. I don't know why they don't get... Sorry about that. I'm just going to change microphones because this one's not working. Is that right? As we continue to go on, because Sheba wouldn't come in and do it.
Well, do you want to come in and... I see, OK, we'll just come in and do it. The problem is that I tucked it right in here somewhere, but as we're going to see me with no clothes on later, what the hell? The problem, I think, with the ambulance dispute is that, of course, that nobody wants to lose face. And somebody told me, and perhaps someone can ring and correct me if I'm wrong, but most of the... thank you. Most of the equipment on the accident and emergency ambulance is paid for by charity, and most of their training is paid for by charity. It's still on the same subject. Thank you for that, Darren from Torquay. Paul from Cheshire. Hello, Paul.
Hello, James.
Yes, yes, Paul.
I'd just like to put it to Dave how he feels that alcohol is a healing agent.
Are you pissed at the moment?
Not at the moment, no, James.
You sound as if you have a little problem with alcohol, do you?
No, no, no.
You don't? You want to know if he thinks alcohol is a healing agent?
Yes.
Why?
Well, I've several friends who feel that it helps relaxes them.
They do what?
It relaxes them.
Well, it relaxes them?
Yeah.
Yeah? So?
Well, it helps them, well...
Good, OK, well, it doesn't do you any good by the sound of it. Now, earlier on, I think it was last week, actually, a couple of weeks ago, I went around to see a guy who reckoned he could heal any little problems you have with his rocks. You watch this.
Whaley goes to town.
I'm here, sitting in a pyramid surrounded by crystals at Marshall Collins Crystal Light Healing Center. This is designed to make me even more magnificent than I already am. Marshall, are you really telling me that these lumps of crystallized rock and sitting in the middle of this metal pyramid are going to do me any good at all?
Without a doubt, crystals have an energy field. We ourselves have an energy field around us. Now, when we are ill, irrespective of what the illness is, we get breakages in this energy field which is around our body. The vibrations from the crystals can unblock these blockages and therefore get the body back into balance.
So why am I sitting in a pyramid, Marshall?
The pyramid, again, is to give you energy. Now, when I have completed a treatment on a patient, I like them to sit under the pyramid for, say, about a quarter of an hour to 20 minutes, and they can feel this energy going all the way through them. And it builds up the immune system.
Let me have a little feel of that, because I've been sitting under here for at least a quarter of an hour, I think.
Well, see what you notice.
I don't notice a great lot, actually.
Well, notice from the waist upwards.
From the waist upwards?
From the waist upwards is where you feel the energy.
Yeah. Don't laugh.
Now, this is just a general pattern of healing, okay? Now, having spent 20 minutes or so doing that, the next thing we would do is balance your chakras. Now, chakras are energy points which are within the body.
Yeah.
Okay? And we do this by taking a crystal pendulum. It's just a lovely crystal on a silver chain. Okay? And we start off by moving it outwards, inwards, until we hit what we call the auric chakra. There it goes.
I've got a big aura, have I?
It's quite big, yeah, it's not too bad at all. There we are, but it's very much out of balance at this point in time.
Is it?
Yes.
Why is it out of balance?
Oh, everybody's out of balance, you know, through stress and one thing or another. Now you see how wild this goes. But this is not just you, I mean everybody.
You're moving your arm, Marshall.
No, I'm not. My arm is perfectly still. Just look. There you are, you see? It doesn't make any difference.
It does, Marshall. It's slowing down.
Because it's coming into balance now.
Oh, well, so you're balancing me up now?
It'll be in balance. So when it stops, then that is balanced up. Okay, it may just go the other way, I'm not sure. And then we go to the base chakra, which is this one down here. We won't say any more about that.
That will really get going.
This is my crystal wand, very powerful crystal wand. And what we usually do to finish off is I ask the patient to visualize colour.
Yeah.
Starting with red and working through the colours of the rainbow. And with each colour, you visualise, start with red, and we go round the body, starting with red. And we go around 7 times and finish up with a white light going all the way around the body again.
Can I see the white light?
Well, you've got to visualise. All right,
All right.
You want to do the visualisation?
Well, yes, I think we've got to do it. You can't leave me with all my chakras knackered.
There's no swing there at all.
Marshall, thanks very much indeed. So, the moral of this story is, make sure you get your chakras balanced. You could go now.
46-1000, James Whale.
Have you got your chakras? Good, good. I don't know whether I believe that or not. Michael Van Stratton has joined me in the studio. Michael, thank you very much indeed. You know him, the cheery chappie on TVAM and LBC and all over the place. What?
Wrong time of the day for me, this.
Is it?
Well,
You'll enjoy it.
Yeah,
You'll enjoy it. Now, Michael is he's a holistic type doctor?
Yes, I'm not a doctor.
You're not a doctor?
Medicine, no.
You're a health practitioner?
Yes, a complementary practitioner.
Good, good. Do you believe in that sort of stuff?
It worries me a bit. I like the white coat. I mean, the white coat.
Yeah.
I mean, people like me deliberately don't wear white coats. I don't want people to think I'm a doctor. I don't want the sort of the symbols and the uniforms. He wears a white coat, which makes him look very official. I worry a bit because there's an enormous growth in the whole field of complementary medicine.
I mean, I was a bit hard on poor old David Drew earlier on there, who's grinning, probably because he looks like Wild Bill Hickok. But David, what do you think? You believe in this sort of thing, presumably?
I believe in what I do. I don't like to speak about other people, and to be honest with you,
be knackered, you don't speak about somebody.
The crystal healing I don't know anything about, so I can't talk about it. It's quite interesting to watch it and talking about chakras and all this.
Yes.
All I know is all my life I put my hands on people and it works.
And you get paid for it, that's the
time.
thing. You get paid for putting your hands on people.
And I get paid for it.
That's lovely. Just before we carry on, I just got a little note handed to me here. Serious this one. Jason Tattersall of Southend, who watches the programme on Anglia. Hi, Jason. Please could you phone home immediately, all right? Message came from Paul Davis, who rang around midnight. So, Jason Tattersall of Southend, if you're watching the programme, please could you phone home right now, okay? Is it not working again? We've got a terrific problem with them. Oh, it's all right now, is it? Okay, fine, good. Where were we? We were talking about you sort of laying on of hands and doing this absent healing. Hopefully we're going to get a few calls through to talk about
I
that.
agree with what Michael says about the wearing of white coats, because this does seem to be creeping in now, and it worries me too.
You don't wear a white coat either?
I don't want people to think I'm a doctor. I'm not a doctor. I know absolutely nothing about medicine. In fact, I don't particularly want to know anything about medicine.
But you've got Albert Schweitzer helping you out. You don't need to know anything
Even
about
he doesn't
medicine.
wear the white coats.
I've got to interrupt here. Look, I think that this is one of the real worries about the growth in complementary medicine. Lots of people that I speak to who practice all sorts of strange things. I mean, there's fringe and beyond the fringe, and a lot of them are very much beyond the fringe. They say, no, we don't need to know about orthodox medicine, because my worry is they don't know about diagnosis, they don't know how to look at an x-ray, they don't know who to send a patient to if they don't know the answers.
Now, what about taking that the other way and saying, what about the medical doctors who poo-poo any idea of any sort of alternative medicine? I mean, some of it, I must confess, what David does I find very difficult to get any sympathy with, but there are certain things that you think, yes, you know, go to an osteopath, which a lot of doctors don't like, and certain things like this.
Well, I think doctors traditionally have had a very closed mind about new ideas. And you can understand their reluctance because they have an enormous responsibility. But they look too much for the science and not enough at the patient and what the patient needs. There are more and more doctors today who look interestedly at complementary therapies. Homeopathy, it's available on the health service. Acupuncture is available in some national health hospitals. There are a lot of doctors who are now prescribing herbal medicines on the health service, which is interesting.
Okay,
But
we'll see if we get some doctors ringing in, Michael, in a
Would
few
be
moments.
interesting
I've
to
just got
have words with some of them.
faxes from all over the place. One here from Chris, who said, I looked at that guy, David, you, and my toothache went. He just had a tooth out. I don't believe a word of this. I can't believe it. My wife had just grown back her severed right leg. You see, I mean, you're taking the mick of it. Very serious business, this. You're taking the mick out of it. You shouldn't do this. How's it hanging, Whale? By the way, we swear by the alternative method of sexual healing. Now, that's interesting, Michael. There is this thing called sexual healing, isn't there?
Yes.
And I knew I meant to remind the producer that we needed a sexual healer. I forgot all about it.
Well, you don't need a sexual healer to practice sexual healing.
You don't?
Sex is very therapeutic.
Now, I heard that's interesting, because apparently you don't need to do all this jogging and this keeping fit that everybody's into at the moment. You just knock a lot.
Well, that's right. I mean, doing things like running on the roads is dangerous. You get run over, you get backache, you lose your knee joints because it's not very healthy.
Okay, well, funnily enough, I have, just before we take a break, I've got a letter from somewhere, and I can't remember where, and it comes from someone who watches the programme and says, your programme's interfering with my nookie, and I'm not getting enough. There's a woman who wrote in. They could be doing it while they're watching the show
if they
and getting the benefits.
Television on the ceiling.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to do it like... Well, we'll go into that a little bit later on. In the meantime, we'll take a break. Don't go way back after this.
James Whale. The James Whale Radio Show.
And you haven't got any little problems, have you? Nothing that we could cure? No? You're sure?
Positive.
You know, it's funny, they do say it's a laugh a day keeps the doctor away. Well, that's terrible, isn't it? Now, Bernadine Corrigan has joined me again on the programme. She just couldn't keep away. And when I said we'd provide a couch for you to do the whole bit on, she said, yeah, I'm going to come. So, ladies and gentlemen, Bernadine Corrigan.
I go in for alternative health remedies quite a lot, actually, and I have, in fact, had acupuncture before. I got this woman's name out of the small ads in the local paper. It said it's a qualified acupuncture practitioner, and then in brackets also hand knitting at reasonable rates, which I think should have warned me off, really, but I went anyway. And when I got there, she told me to lie down and relax. And before I could stop her, she'd whipped out a pair of number 9 needles and knitted the hairs on me legs into a Fair Isle pattern. I said, well, it's very nice, but I was actually hoping for something to help me lose weight. And she said, well, this will, and sewed me lips together. Her last... little bit. But her last piece of advice to me was that I should hand wash my legs in cool water and then dry them flat or they'd go all baggy. And I wish I'd taken that advice, frankly. What else is there? Well, there's reflexology, and that is where they massage the feet, because apparently each part of your foot relates to another part of your body. So, for instance, if you're having your big toe massaged, and that hurts, it probably means you've got problems with your sinus, you see, obviously. And if you have swollen bunions...
Oh, that looks nasty.
It probably means your trousers are too tight. I've also been to a faith healer, rather like the one we have on the show this evening. But unfortunately, my faith healer's spirit guide wasn't Dr. Schweitzer, it was Dr. Crippen. So, it's a bit unfortunate. My mother, in fact, is a great believer in the healing powers of spirits. So I'd just like to say hello to her there in the Betty Ford Clinic, which is where she is now. What else? Oh, there's homeopathy. Now, that's where they treat like with like. So, for instance, let me think, say you're bitten by a snake. Well, then that means they'd give you a tiny amount of the same venom, and then you'd be all right, you see, you follow me. So, I went along when I was having hearing problems. So he shoved me between 2 speakers and put an Iron Maiden LP on. And I said, well, I've got a bit of a migraine now, so he whacked me over the head with a mallet. But he was a very attractive man, as a matter of fact, so just to be naughty, I also told him I was pregnant. And what else is there? Oh, of course, now, aromatherapy. Now, aromatherapy is a form of massage which uses essential oils which are derived from plants and can cure all known ills, you see. So this woman turned up at me flat, she got all her oils out, and she said, are you suffering from anything in particular? I said, well, no, I don't think so. She said, what about flatulence, dear? I said, well, no, I'm just boiling up a few sprouts in the kitchen. So I stripped off, and she said she'd have a go at my cellulite, but really I'd be better off sticking sequins in the dimply bits and making a feature of it. My other favourite form is a new one on the market now called colonic irrigation, which, as much as it sounds, they flush out your large intestine, you see. And what they do is absolutely true. They bung a bit of plastic tubing, you know, up your fundamentals, and then and pump a bit of, I think, Aqua Libra or something up there, and it flushes you out. Now there's a do-it-yourself method for this, and no, there is. It's called 4 pints of Guinness and a chicken vindaloo. I've also, I once had my tarot cards read, you know, and the woman said that at some point in the future I would make my living by lying down and telling jokes while having needles stuck in my face, which just goes to show what a load of old crap it is, really, doesn't it?
Very nice. How do you feel?
Well, I feel you don't feel them once you're in.
No, a lot of people say that.
No.
Yes, yes.
They hardly touch the side.
Do you think Michael could work with you now in future? In a sort of...
Well, I suppose so, if I had anything terribly wrong with me. It's not actually terribly painful. I mean,
it really isn't. People never believe you,
a
but
bit
it isn't
sharp, a bit sharp round the fleshy parts.
Yes, yes.
You know.
I was worried when he was sticking it right up your nose. It was through the cheek.
Yes, it was a bit. But I think actually I'm going to have some sort of, you know, a few sapphires perhaps attached to these and keep them on because I think they're rather attractive.
I think he's going to do very well in comedy, though, don't you?
Yes, the sort of the silent one.
Yeah.
This is my feed, man.
Now, I tell you, I went somewhere, actually. It was only on Tuesday that you've really got to try. I went up the coast to Hartlepool. It's nice this time of year, very nice indeed. And Hartlepool, known for its scenic splendour, there's a hotel there called the what's it called? The Rydale Moor Hotel. You can't miss it. There's no more, so, you know. And I went there to find out about this new weekend they're running on sort of relaxation and therapy and floating around in baths. Well, look, I'll tell you what, have a look. Look at this. Now, I'm not a fitness freak. In fact, I don't like getting fit at all, but I have got a bit of a problem in my back. I dislocated my shoulder years ago, running away from somebody's husband. And Dennis here is going to help me put it right. At least he says he is. Okay, Dennis, listen, when am I going to get into the tank downstairs? That's the real thing, isn't it?
Right. What we're going to do first is, as I say, posturally evaluate you and make some spinal corrections so that when you actually go into the tank, you'll float effortlessly and the body will be able to then balance you out because your brain waves are going to slow down.
Here in Hartlepool, on the very windy, exposed northeastern coast, you're actually running weekends, aren't you, for people to come along and get untwisted?
Untwisted, that's correct. The whole stress management program is to teach people how to identify stress factors and also how to cope with them. And the tank is part of that program. Everybody gets evaluated like yourself, and everyone gets a chance to float on the weekend, as well as being shown many methods of relaxing and coping with stress much more effectively in the 20th century.
Now, I mean, one of the best ways of coping with stress is ringing the show and yelling at me, getting it all out of your system. But if you can't do that, this is another good way, isn't it?
That's right.
Okay, Dennis, the moment of truth. Is it a time capsule? Is it a coffin?
Well,
maybe a baby spaceship. What is it?
Right, more of a time capsule, actually, James. You'll go in there for an hour,
and
you'll find that time will actually distort. And as you're floating in the warm environment, there's 10 inches of water in there with half a ton of Epsom salts, so it's very buoyant.
Oh, it is, yes, yes.
The water's heated to body temperature, and you'll find that after a few minutes of being in the tank and you're floating, you'll just lose the sensation of your body.
So I go in there, I stay there for an hour, and somebody told me it's like having 2 weeks holiday.
That's right. You'll feel very refreshed, your brainwaves are going to slow down, your body's going to profoundly relax, probably for the first time in years.
Shall I get in? Okay, right, in I go. This is a bit like caving, I have to tell you. Oh. So what do I... Oh, God.
Well, we're going to close the door on you now, James, and we'll put some nice relaxing music on you, for you, and just float your cares away. We'll see you in an hour. Okay, James, you can come out. Your time's up now.
Come in, number 13. Oh, my golly. Oh,
Okay, how was that?
Different, I must admit. If you think I'm coming out of here with nothing on, you have another think. We'll see you later. I think I should have another half hour, really. I think another half hour or something.
Be my guest.
Okay, another half hour.
And some dirty videos this time. Right.
Sailing, I am sailing across the seas, etc., etc.
Any jokes about me being a sumo wrestler will not be well accepted. Now, this is Michael Tsai. Michael Tsai, who practices, what do you practice?
Qigong.
Qigong, all right? And it's very, this is getting people's energy flowing, isn't
It's
it?
a very Asian Chinese health exercise.
Yeah.
How to develop the energy and...
Demonstrate for us, demonstrate as
Okay.
you talk. Go on. Okay. This is called the turkey...
No, wild goose Qigong.
Wild goose, fine. And I want you at home to do this as well. Stop bonking for a few moments and do this. Fine, off we go. It's all right for me to talk while you're doing it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good. Michael, come over here. Come over here, Michael, because you're into this. Chief of Security. I want him to go along with you. Just get him to go along with you. Carry on, Michael. No, it's all right. Go on. Just follow what he's going. Go on. Just do the movements. Go on.
Relax, just relax. Oh. No. Pick up the hand. Yes. 1, 2. Yes, well done.
Bruce Lee.
Left leg.
He's devilish, this.
Yes. Here at the back.
Yes.
To the kidney acupuncture points. Step forward. That's right.
Don't know what you're laughing at. This is my head of security here. He's been signing a lot of autographs. Good, fine, that's lovely. Give Michael, thank you very much of it too, Michael. Now, Lisa, come over here. Now, Lisa, Michael is going to actually transmit his power through your body. Now, I may be taking a little bit of the mick, all right? But he did this to me earlier, and it does work. Turn round, that way. Right.
And just relax, yeah.
Okay, this is good. You'll love this. I did. From where I'm at. It's good. The thing is, he does all sorts of untold things to her body without her even knowing. Can you feel anything, Lisa? Are you enjoying it, Lisa? Fantastic. We'll take a little break while he's doing this, and we'll carry on having some fun. Back in a few moments. That Michael Tsai is really good. Look at that, fantastic. Completely out of it, completely out of it. Now, the Alarm are with us tonight. Well, in fact, we've got Mike Peters and Dave Sharp of the Alarm. The others are not here at the moment, but they're going to do an acoustic version of their current single, which is in the shops at the moment. It's called Love Don't Come Easy. Love Don't Come Easy from Mike Sharp and Dave Sharp and Mike Peters from Alarm, an acoustic version of Love Don't Come Easy. We're going to go... Thank you very much indeed, fellas. The band, of course, based in South Wales, and actually they did it without any anabolic steroids whatsoever today. That was very, very good of them. So we were very pleased with that. We just rushed back over here a little bit behind time. I have to say hello to Steve Wright. I know he'll be watching tonight because he's invited me very kindly on his show next Friday. He did say he was going to have a little trouble with maybe the bosses, but they'll be okay, Steve. So I'll see you next Friday. That'll be good. Now, Bernadine, take a seat. And I can't think of any other programme on television where everybody moves around so much. You know, thank you very much indeed, Lisa. I thought you were very good. Very, very good indeed. We take a couple of calls and oh,
I've got
sorry.
my basket.
You've got your basket?
I've got my basket.
Oh, this is so... We could do another version of This Morning, couldn't we? This Morning After.
A different basket there.
What have you got?
Well, what we've missed is the whole point of what you talked about, holistic medicine.
Yeah.
Because all the things you've talked about have been specific therapies for a particular problem. And that is absolutely wrong.
Right.
You've got to look at the whole patient. And we were talking about Bernadine's sinuses. Just giving her acupuncture...
Wouldn't be good enough.
No. It'll help to relieve the congestion. Won't cure the sinuses. She needs lots of other things.
What would you give her, then?
I would give her... No. Firstly, I would make her have lots of garlic. Because garlic is a wonderful treatment for all catarrhal symptoms.
Our producer's been doing that. It's disgusting.
The next thing is ginger. Dried ginger root. Grate a little into a glass of hot water. That'll pep you up a bit. Right? That's the next thing.
Fantastic.
The next thing is one of these little sprays. This is a herbal spray of essential oils, which you spray onto your hand. It's
please.
It's delicious. Have you not smelled it? You haven't smelled it?
Give us a whiff.
Yeah, give her a whiff. Go on, give her a whiff. While you're giving her a whiff, I'm going to take a couple of calls. John from Trafford. Hello, John.
Good morning there, James.
Yes, John.
Good morning. I'd like to know, is there a link between the faith healers and the power of the voodoo witch doctors? And have you ever felt like a witch? And I don't mean, of course, the lovely Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Is there any link between voodoo and that sort of thing, or not,
People always call it as faith healers, and I hate the word faith healer. It's spiritual healer, because faith healer implies that faith is necessary, and faith isn't necessary. We give healing to young babies and animals even. They don't have faith.
So even somebody that comes along like me and insults you and says, you're nothing but a red-headed charlatan, David.
We'll still forgive you and cure you.
God, dear, what can you say to that? Paul from Northampton. Hello, Paul.
Hello, James.
Yes, Paul.
About 5 years ago, I was hurt in a car accident.
Yeah.
And I hurt my arm, and after it mended, I was still suffering from a lot of pain, and I went along to my GP, and he recommended me to an alternative medicine.
Not you, it's this stuff Van Stratton has sprayed everywhere. Sorry, go on, Dave.
It's Paul.
Is it?
Yep.
Argue with me, you're not coming on this programme. Right, Dave from Leicester. Hello, Dave.
Hello.
Yeah.
I just want to say that I'm a student at Leicester Poly. I've been doing yoga for the past 18 months. And I just want to say that I'm a big believer in all this faith healing.
Good, fantastic. Right, John from Birmingham. Yes, John.
Hello, James.
Yes, John.
I'd just like to say, at 23, I was diagnosed as having MS.
Right.
And my family, because we're a well-off family, we spent a lot of money on those spiritual healers, several thousands of pounds actually, to the gentleman there. And a man from Africa come over called Dr. Bobby Shante.
And did he do you any good?
And 2 years ago, I was wheelchair bound then.
Did he do you any good, John?
He did, yes. I'm now a competitive bodybuilder. I'm jogging, running.
Do you think, though, John, you would have got better anyway? Because you get sort of
medically, I was diagnosed
remissions with MS, don't you?
Yes, I was on disability.
Yeah.
You see.
But you believe it was this guy that came over from Africa that cured you?
I'd just like to say that there's a lot of faithies in this country
that
are ripping a lot of people off.
Okay. Do you think there is a lot of people losing faith in medicine for one reason or another?
Yes, that's why millions of people are turning towards complementary therapies.
Yeah.
They're getting frightened by the side effects of the drugs, they're fed up with the tranquilizers, but you mustn't throw the baby out with the bathwater, because if you are involved in a serious car accident or you get a critical illness, who do you go to? You go to the doctor, you go to the hospital. So the two should work together. There should be a complementary process.
Right.
Because there's no such thing as good medicine or bad medicine or alternative medicine. It works or it doesn't work.
A little of what you fancy does you good.
That's not so far wrong.
Okay. Right, we're going to do the mail and the competition, I think, now, all right? So we shall do that. We're not having a little jingle into it, then. Okay. Last week we did ask you, where's the camera? Okay, Les, a little twist. We asked you why we shot the bit of the programme upside down, didn't we? Can you do that while you're on me? Can you just sort of twist it? That's fine. We asked you why, and lots of you wrote in, thick as anything. Robert Seed in Plymouth thought the reason I was upside down was to remind folk what I used to look like when I had a full head of hair. That wasn't even funny. Paul Butcher in Liverpool thought it was because the shape of my hair forms a W. G. Etherington in Doncaster thought the cameraman had been bitten by the vampire guest and was just hanging about. Poor old Les. It's very heavy, isn't it, Les, on your arm? We should have got Michael in here to sort of put a bit of what's it on you. And Mr. Thicky from Belfast thought the reason the picture was upside down was because the camera was the wrong way up. You're all wrong. And also I said last week, send in £1. Everybody who's watching, send in £1, and then I could pay the guests more, which would be all right, because Bernadine would like that for a start.
Please.
Yeah.
£2 would be nice.
So we got some bloke faxed us a £50 note, and if you don't send us the real one, I'm going to read out your name and address and tell the company whose fax you were using. And we got £6.50 in cash, which we'll be sharing out a little bit later on.
We double our money then,
Yeah,
don't we?
so you'll be okay. And the prize, what are we going to send you back? Well, I've got some stuff to send back. A nice leather belt so you can flog yourselves to death, which, you know, sometimes that's medically quite helpful. Why was the camera upside down? Didn't I tell them? Well, the camera was upside down because last Friday, Saturday was Australia Day. I thought you'd all know that. Well, quite a few people did. And the person who's won this clothing, I'm afraid it's second-hand clothing, unfortunately, because they've got Joe Bloggs written all over it, so it must have been his old shirt, I think. And who's won the lot? The answer, Australia's a red, blah, 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 blah. Heather Miller from Wakefield in West Yorkshire. Round of applause for Heather, thank you. That's good. OK, fine, that's enough, that's enough. She's won all that. And for the best facts, we're going to send it to the person who sent this one in. We thought this was mildly amusing. Mildly amusing. Cow extract, apparently. Very, very good for getting the hair to grow back. Is there anything that can get hair to grow back, Michael?
Nothing at all which is safe and without side effects.
Really?
Nothing. If it's in your genes, it's in your genes. You and me both.
Yes? Yeah, I see, I see. We've got some other rather interesting letters, which I've lost at the moment. Oh, here we are. Alan Thompson in London, West 3, wants to know what exactly do we do with the rubber doll? Mind your own business. And Melanie, very tacky, Melanie Simmons in Gainsborough says her fiancé and her watch the programme, but she feels she must complain as it tends to interfere with her getting her nookie, and she wants to know what I'm going to do about it. Not a lot. We talked about sexual healing earlier on, another one there. I can't believe it's sexual healing. I mean, how recommended? They say average is what, twice a week, don't they?
Speak for yourself.
I wasn't.
I mean, sex is extremely therapeutic. First of all, it's pleasurable. Secondly, it's a great relaxer. And thirdly, it's a wonderful way of communicating with somebody that you love. It's not just an animal act. It's a very important part of human communications, and people should do it more. So, with regular partners.
Stop, of course. I mean, it goes without saying. And that's why we send back to the people who read out the letters our late-night entertainment packets of Jiffy condoms, of course. You know. Do you think that those people who jog a lot, then, are not really as well as they ought to be?
I'm not a great lover of jogging.
Because if I may say, you're not as sylph-like as nor am I, and you being a medical man should perhaps take better care.
Yes, I mean, I only eat good, healthy food, but not too much of it.
We're out of time.
Bad for your knees.
Bad for your knees. Well, thank you all very much indeed. Lisa, lovely. Should do the weather later. And and David and Bernadine and Michael. A lot of Michaels on the programme tonight. Thank you very much indeed. We have a competition this week. You know the address, I won't tell you, but you have to write and tell me what the answer is, okay, to the competition this week. Right? Work it out for yourselves. We're back next week. We're looking at social behaviour next week. What is it? What isn't it? Join us then. In the meantime, have a nice weekend from all of us. A very good night. Bye-bye.